So I am, excuse me, my phone. I am watching episode 8 of Daredevil. Man, oh man, Vanessa's weird. So she calls him stunted child. Calls Daredevil, which is Matt's alter ego, stunted and not really going through it. It's like your brain stunted out, whatever, right? I'm like, cool. Where were the cops at? Cops fought in an Avenger, the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, where were the cops? Just saying, no, doing nothing. When you watch Ultron, the cops in that country were just sitting down having a normal day. Had no urgency behind it. Had no sense of self. Like, oh, this is like a tense situation. So cops don't really do anything in the MCU. To be honest, cops don't do anything at all in the MCU. Granted, it's not a cop show, it's not a cop franchise, but it's like Vigilante saved your life. Endgame. Infinity War they lost, but Endgame they won. Alright, vigilantes save people's lives in the MCU. In the real world, that's stupid. Don't be a vigilante, right? Because they can get shot by the criminals in the real life. They don't give a fuck. They'll kill you, and then you'll be dead. Right? But in the MCU, we're talking about the MCU, right? MCU, the vigilantes have saved lives. Um, they might have mental problems, some of them, or some of them are like Stark, for example, is an alcoholic or recovering alcoholic. And before Stark, the world would have been way worse off because they wouldn't have been in the end game because they wouldn't have been like going back in time getting the Infinity Stones. What has the cops have done? Cops can't stop Bullseye. Bullseye is at Daredevil's level. Cops can't even stop Bullseye. They can't even stop Bullseye. I'm not expecting them to, but like, you expect them to fight for you when they can't fight Bullseye? Hmm, that makes really sense. Like cops in the MCU are just like pennies, bro. They're just worthless because they don't do anything. In real life, they actually do stuff. They actually have do stuff, but I'm not. And even then, in real life, they don't. They're more hindrance than our help sometimes. Um, what are we on, Vanessa? What are we on? They didn't stop Thanos. Cops didn't stop Thanos. Thanos would have killed all of them, all the cops. And then it's like, oh, you disrespect him by saying, oh, he's a stunted child. Okay, cool. Then you say, oh, why didn't you come to this party? You call him up and you say, hey, why didn't you come to this party? You shouldn't give me a heads up to say you weren't coming. He did, honey. He did. He said he's not invited. You don't know the beef between Murdoch, Matt, and Kingpin. You don't. So us like you sense as a person, you can sense the tension between these two people. How Matt's reacting to you working with him, whatever. So what are we on? And then it's not only that. As a person, I don't know if she has like the character of Vanessa, not the actor. The character of Vanessa, does she have some form of like now she probably has PTSD because she killed somebody. But like does she have neurodiversity? Because it seems like you don't pick up on the social. But even for me, I have. It's like for me, I get that. Okay, the rule is if you're not invited somewhere, you don't go out. You don't ask to be invited. You don't show up. He wasn't invited. You were. So he's just supposed to automatically show up to a thing, to a party that he's not invited to, knowing that his arch enemy, Kingpin, him and Spider Man's arch enemies, and having a party. Think about it. Think about it. Like you're a therapist, bro. She's a therapist, and she can't just think that through. I'm not hating her because she's a woman. I'm just hating her because she doesn't think. It's like she's not making she's not making a connection. Like, oh, these people have beef. Kingpin and Matt have beef. She doesn't know what the beef came from, but they have beef. So, what do we like? Is she socially awkward? Is she, even if you're not invited, you have to show up someplace? That is going to get you. That's going to get into you in an argument. Let's say, for example, I'm like my sister's invited to this meeting. I don't go because I wasn't invited. It's just common sense. And then you'd be like, "Oh, it's you should have called me to tell me you weren't coming." You can't. If there's not, if they don't say it +2, you can add a +1 to another +1 to it. Then you lose. You can't go if it's just a meeting, whatever. Come on. And then I'm like, okay, how long has she been an adult for? Because that's my question. Like, how long have you been an adult for? Like, being on Earth for? Like, does the MCU have this rule where you can just show up to where you're not wanted to? Right? Sorry, there's something on my phone, and it just makes sense. It's like, where? How long is she? She's obviously a therapist, so she has money coming in. She's been an adult for a while. She's been a part of the. It's like it doesn't make sense. Like he said he wasn't invited. And if she could, it's an easy Google search too. I bet you if she Googled on MCU, I don't know. It's not like I don't like her character. I just don't like how she's written. Because like she would have been smart enough to realize these two people don't like each other. These people have beef. These people have history. Best not to put them in the same room. You know. I just think Vanessa. I don't really like her character, bro. Not because she's a woman. Not because she's like she's a. It makes her seem. Well, I started liking her when she was. I liked her a little bit more. I was indifferent to her character before, right? But when she killed Muse, I was like, okay, cool. She killed the main character. She's a boss bitch. She's a boss, right? Now it's just like she's becoming this kind of like arrogant character. Like Daredevil saved your life. Matt saved your life. But she doesn't like vigilantes. I never got that. Like never in my wildest dreams. Reading comic books, watching cartoons, dealing with the X-Men, dealing with superheroes. I never understood why you hate vigilantes. Why? Because they make make things harder, they make bogs the rule down. No, no, no. Criminals in the comics and like superhero genres don't usually do anything. You don't usually see them go out and like, okay, be a cop. They arrest the small time people, and then when it comes to the big time people, they have to you have to go through a system. I'm like, okay, cool, 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 cool. But you guys don't. I think cops shouldn't exist in the MCU. To be honest, because they don't do much. But arrest people who are trying to eat and do all this other stuff. And that's like, what's the purpose of having the police force there? All right, because you have the X Men, but then I guess the X Men that can't stop every crime, right? So I get that. But it seems like you guys don't see the bigger picture. A bullet to the Thanos, a bullet to Thanos, like going like this, shooting Thanos, so he would just be blocking it and then you'd be dead. All right, a bullet won't stop Thanos. A bullet won't stop Galactus. Oh, we need to be independent. The insurance. At this point in the MCU, the insurance should cover world-ending God acts of God, acts of superheroes or insurance. Insurance should be covering superhero act, super like superheroes should be becoming a superhero thing, right? Should be covering the vigilantes right now, covering the anti-vigilantes crime, events like Avengers, the first Avengers Infinity should be covering that. Should be covering that type of events. Is it not? Like, comment, follow.